Welcome to Spotlight Gulf Coast, a weekly showcase of people and events across South Mississippi. Spotlight Gulf Coast is partnered with William Carey University and sponsored by Breeze Heating and Air, IP Casino Resort Spa, Bienville Orthopedic Specialists, and the Trenchard Scholarship Fund.
Hi, I'm Samantha Bignell with Keesler Federal Credit Union, and I'm your host today for Spotlight Gulf Coast. We'd like to thank our sponsors for allowing us to come into your living room and give you an insight into what we feel is a great part of our community. Today I have one of my very special guests, Miss Cynthia with CASA of South Mississippi. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. I know that I think a lot of people that watch Spotlight Gulf Coast and have seen me before know that CASA is a big part of my life and something that I feel strongly about. But can you tell the people that are watching just a little bit more about what CASA is?
Sure. So CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate, and we recruit members of the community to advocate for kids in foster care. So all of these kids are victims. The majority of the kids along the Gulf Coast, as well as nationwide, come into foster care as a result of neglect, and the highest number of our cases involve substance abuse and addiction. So these are kids that have done nothing wrong, and they need somebody in their corner to speak up for them.
So what would it entail for somebody to become an advocate in your area?
Yeah, the first thing is reaching out to us. You have to be 21 years of age. We give you all the necessary training. You go through our recruitment process and our training. All of the programs in our area train multiple times during the year. It's an in-person training, but really you have to have a passion for kids, pass a background check, and beyond that, we give you the tools to do the job.
Now let's say somebody, because we all know I'm extremely busy, but let's say somebody has kids, has sports, has a lot going on, and right now it's just not the right time in their life to do that. Is there another way that they could be involved, support, help?
Yeah, there's so many ways. I would tell you we have opportunities to be a monthly supporter, and we call those our CASA anchors. You could support us monthly as easy as going through PayPal and clicking a QR code, and it would just come out just like Netflix, maybe, right? But one thing I want to let people know is that even though people often think they can't do this, the majority of our volunteers still work full time. And the average CASA volunteer, they spend about 8 to 10 hours a month doing this unique volunteer service. And most of it happens on your off time and when the kid's not in school. And so for the most part, when people learn more, they're like, oh, I could do this. So I definitely want people to know our biggest need is always volunteers, not just CASA of South Mississippi, but our sister programs adjacent to us. The heartbeat of our work is volunteers.
And I know that they can reach out to either one depending on where they live and if they're in your area. And if not, they could come to the Southeast Mississippi. But I know that if one reached out to the other, we would send them the other way if it was a better fit.
Sure.
The one thing that I do love about your program is he has 4 legs. Remy has 4 legs and is the best thing that I've met in a long time. Can you tell me a little bit more about Remy?
Yeah, so Remy is a courthouse facility dog. She is 8 years old, and she goes to court when kids have to testify. So if you've ever had to go to court for anything, you can imagine or just think back to how scary it is. So thinking about being a child who may have to testify against their parents for how they were mistreated, overwhelming, paralyzing, all of that. Remy was bred and intentionally trained to sit alongside kids during those tough conversations. So she can sit in the witness box for hours. She knows 40 commands, and I would say her biggest gift is the ability for kids to connect to her and for her to be really kind of, I would say, their sidekick through an experience that is pretty tough. And on the other side of testifying, kids come back and say that what they remember about that experience was Remy. So she's memorable, and she's an incredible member of the team.
I know, I definitely remember her. Y'all had her at one of your events, and I was like, oh, anytime I see a dog in the wild, it is the best day for me. And she just sat so sweet for her little picture, and I just love her. And I wanted people more to know about
Yeah.
you know, what she does, because it makes an impact, you know. And I know that that's a lot of work too, to have handlers for her and the training and all of that. That's a lot that goes into that.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, we use Remy in youth court in Hancock, Harrison, and Stone, but we also, upon request, and we get more requests than you would think from our district attorney's office, we can use her in helping support victims through the criminal prosecution of felonious child abuse cases, which a lot of our kids unfortunately have to go through that companion process. So Remy is just another important member of the team that kind of wraps around these kids at a really tough time in their life.
And that's so important. So we're about, I'm sure people will be watching this as the new year is coming in. Tell me a little bit more about what the program looks like in the new year for you, and what some of the things y'all will be doing.
Yeah, so right now in the holiday season, we're in the middle of this incredible matching opportunity for community members. I'll tell you that every dollar that we raise between now and December 31st will be matched up to $30,000. What an incredible gift for our organization. And the money that's raised will help us to recruit more volunteers in the coming year. So if anyone's interested in considering a donation now through the end of the year or beyond, you can make that donation through our website at casasouthms.org, or you can send a check to our organization. But really, our body of work is advocacy. So this year, to date, as of today, 159 volunteers have advocated for 379 children. And those volunteers have given we're at 9,800 hours of volunteer service in 2025. So on the horizon, we want to continue to reach the ultimate goal of being able to have every child have an advocate. We're about 115 kids from reaching that goal, and next year we plan to train, after we hard recruit, we plan to have 45 new volunteers, and 45 new volunteers can serve up to 100 kids. So there's a lot of recruitment and a lot of training and a lot of time when Remy is called to court to serve kids, and then also retaining those incredible volunteers that we already have.
Right.
It's a labor of love, and they need our support, but they also are some of the biggest heroes in our communities.
They really are, and honestly, it's a huge impact. I know that firsthand from knowing some of our advocates and the children. We have one, Miss Patty, who was an advocate. She still to this day sends birthday cards and Christmas cards to the children that she was an advocate for. And those are the type of people that come into these children's lives, and they remember them, and it makes a difference. So, and that's the type of connections that people are looking for, and just somebody that can be their voice and speak for them. So
yeah, and we know about resilience, and we know that kids that have at least one person in their corner in difficult times in their life, in their early few years, is the difference between their resilience being bolstered and them being to the point where they can break the cycle of child abuse and neglect. And that's what we want. Right. While we can't mitigate completely what happened, what we can do is for that child make a difference. And we know that that difference is going to go on for the next generation and generations to come.
And it's so important. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit about that with me today, and I appreciate you. And don't go very far. We've got some special guests coming up at the end to give us a little bit of a highlight of how they made it to one of the biggest championships in Mississippi. Welcome back. I'm Samantha Bignell with Keesler Federal Credit Union, and I'm your host today for Spotlight Gulf Coast. And today I have with me Miss Renee, who's the Director of Communications for the Gulf Coast Center for Nonviolence.
Yes,
How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. I know that Keesler Federal is a proud sponsor of the Gulf Coast Center for Nonviolence, and we have been for some time because it's so important to us and our mission. Can you tell the people watching a little bit more about what you do?
Yeah, we really appreciate your sponsorship. The Gulf Coast Center for Nonviolence has been around for 47 years, almost 48 years now, and we are a nonprofit that serves and supports survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, and survivors of homicide victims here on the coast.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. It's a lot. There's a lot of need, and we work year-round to meet that need.
And it's not just women, it's families. I know that I volunteered there with Junior Auxiliary, and we've done backpacks and school supply stuff for the kids that are there, and we've done Christmas parties and things like that. So it's a whole range of ages.
Yeah, we in our shelters we have anybody that needs us there. It's not just women. We did start out as an organization back in the 70s that was a shelter for women, but we've evolved a lot. We have men, women, people of all genders. We have children and families that we serve. So if they're in need, we work with them.
Now, how would somebody find out more information about either volunteering or being able to support you? What is one way that they can support you?
Well, they can certainly go to our website. We have lots of information that's there. We do rely a lot on volunteers. We have a very active volunteer base in lots of ways. There are so many different things and pieces and parts of our organization. Some people want to work with in the shelter or helping with kids and maybe throwing a birthday party or working with events and things like that. Some people say, I don't want to do that part of it, but they want to help. We have some great event volunteers that work every week with us. So we have, last year we had over 800 volunteers that work with us doing different things, and we always welcome that. They can go to our website at gccfn.org. Same with donations. You know, there's always more need than there is money when you work for a nonprofit, and so we really couldn't do what we do without the support of our partners and individuals within the community that support us financially, and so we always appreciate that.
I know that I guess I probably haven't talked about this on here yet, but my mom passed away last November, so it's been a year now, and you know, slowly, but you know, I was able to go through her clothing, and she had a lot of items, and I packed away the really nice stuff, and I donated it to the center.
Thank you.
And so I know that some of my friends from Junior Auxiliary brought it over, and the women were so thankful. You know, it was things for job interviews, business casual stuff, you know, nicer items that they need, and all ranges of sizes.
Yeah.
And so that's something else that people could do is donate items, correct?
Yeah, they can donate items. One of the things that we sometimes run into is storage space, because we have 2 shelters. We have a lot of people, and as you mentioned, we've got people of all different sizes and ages and things like that, and so people can donate their items to us. We have not only the people that are in shelter, but we have a lot of folks who have come through our programs and gone into our housing programs, and we continue to provide them with some support as they're getting on their feet after they've left the shelter. And so there's always a matter of need for like household goods and things like that. We also have a great partnership though with the Humane Society in Gulfport. They have a thrift store in Gulfport. If you're not able to bring your things to us, if you're over there in Gulfport, if you take them to the thrift store, the Humane Society thrift store, and let them know that you're donating on our behalf, we have a great program where they give us vouchers.
Oh, wow.
So we are able to give vouchers to our clients, and they can go shop for free for whatever they need instead of just from what's available on site. So that works really, really well, and it helps both of our agencies.
It does. I like that. I didn't know that. I'll have to let people know that, because you know, I love animals too.
Yes.
I love helping people, and I love the animals.
It's a win-win.
It is. So do you have any events coming up where people can go out and support? I know that one of our favorite events to sponsor is your masquerade.
Yes, Moonlight Masquerade is in October. We don't have another event coming up right away. We will be working on Moonlight Masquerade, something we work on year-round, so it won't actually be very long before we'll start putting the save the dates out for that. But what we do have is a great opportunity. We have a couple of things coming up. We have started in the past year a couple of more intense volunteer opportunities. One is our youth advisory board. So people 14 to 20 can come out, spend a day training with us, and learn how to kind of be an ambassador back to their schools to learn about things like interpersonal violence and how to be a good ambassador for our center and be a peer support to others in their school and their communities. And so we have a training coming up in January for that, which that information's on our website. And we also have for adults, people who want a little more intense volunteer experience can become GCCFN ambassadors. And they come out from 6 to 8. It's on Thursday night, 6 to 8. We're actually going to do a class in January virtually. So they can do 6 to 8 starting January the 8th virtually, 2 hours a night each Thursday, where they get a lot of training. And at the end of that, they become a part of our volunteer ambassador program. So if somebody really is looking to participate in that, we invite them to go online. All of that's available on the volunteer page on our website.
I'll have to look into that for my daughter, because I do think that that's a great thing for her to be involved in.
Yeah, we just started the the youth advisory board this year, and they already have taken place working with us on things for like cruising. They had some awareness events that they did, and they're doing things within their own schools. February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, so they've already got some things in the works to help us promote that to young people.
Because I mean, as a mom of a teenager,
yes.
I can tell you that they listen to other teenagers first
before
they listen to you.
Exactly. Well,
so
and
having them speak to them and know the facts and know all of the things to talk about, that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, it does. And you know, I'm not a teenager myself anymore, and so I know how to talk usually and market things to people of my own age, but when it comes to reaching younger folks, we want to make sure that we're speaking their language, and they advise us on how to direct our programming. So it's very helpful.
It is. It's very helpful. So is there anything else that's going on, or anything else that you want people to know about your mission, what you do, or anything else like that?
Well, a couple of really exciting things that have been in development over the past year is that we just opened Mississippi's first Family Justice Center in Gulfport, and you'll hear more about that as we come up. But it's sort of a one-stop shop. When someone has been victimized in this way, instead of having to go to a lot of different places and tell their story over and over, they'll be able to come to one place and get services that are coordinated. Part of that is our new Waypoint Clinic, which is a forensic medical clinic available. These are things that are not available anywhere else in the state of Mississippi, and we just started them here. So
that's amazing.
It is, and that also requires a lot of community support, so we're looking for the coast to help support us as we get that off the ground.
Well, I appreciate you coming and telling a little bit more about what y'all do and the mission, and of course, you know, it's very near and dear to our hearts, and so thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, and don't go very far, because we've got a few people coming on that you might want to hear about on their road to victory. Hi, I'm Samantha Bignell with CASA Federal Credit Union, and I am your host for Spotlight Gulf Coast. This is a special segment. We have a few more people here than usual, but it is because we have the winning team for the Mississippi State Championship, our Gulfport football team coaches, right? How are y'all today?
Yeah. Doing great. Yeah, thank you for having us.
So tell me a little bit more about what each of you do.
So I'm the head football coach, Blake Pennick. Just kind of manage the chaos, I guess to say, and then leave everything up to these two guys. Got Patrick Mooneyham here, offensive coordinator. Our defensive coordinator, the minister of mayhem, right there, Zach Green. Just this group does it. Them two guys.
And you've been coaching there for how many years?
This is my third season. We just completed all of us.
So tell me a little bit more about what has led y'all to where we are now, because I mean, a state championship is a big deal.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just, I think, consistency, building the culture when we came here is, the program was a certain type of way. They wanted to kind of get to the next step, right? And so a lot goes into that, and a lot of investment from our school district, from our city, and our program in general. And so we have had quite the tale of it, right? And so obviously we got on a winning streak, got really hot, had a big win against Ocean Springs. That it kind of catapulted us and got rolling, and then we just kind of rolled through the playoffs and hit our stride.
I was there for that game because my daughter cheers for Ocean Springs, and we
I
are
knew that.
the state champions as well.
Yes.
So I can't really say much about that, but you used to work there, didn't you?
I did. Me and Zach Green did. I was the head coach at Ocean Springs through 2020 and through 2022. And, came there, had a great time there, absolutely. Won a bunch of games and all that. And so we came here to get it done, try to win a championship, and we were able to do that this year.
Obviously, y'all were able to do that. Mm-hmm. So what do you want to tell us about your program? Is there something that you want everyone to know about, maybe the players, anything
Well, I'll tell you what, just from our standpoint, I think it's just been a great thing. We're a complete team, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to turn it over to these guys here in a little bit in a second to talk about, because we have the #1 offense in the state of Mississippi, every statistical category you could imagine. Just a balanced offense, running the ball, throwing the ball, putting the ball in the end zone, that kind of thing. And then defensively, we're in the teens all year long as far as being able to shut people down. They couldn't run the football, did a great job in the turnover margin and doing all that. I think they did a great job of challenging our players to just continue to get better every single week.
So tell me a little bit more about how you challenge them, how you challenge the players to get better, and what you do with your programs.
You want to go first? I'll go. I think there's a couple things that it's not easy, because you really do have to be a disciplined type of a person in order to be successful in football. And so for these guys, the stuff we put on their plate, just as far as like what they have to learn and what we ask them to do, because football is not an easy sport. Practices aren't easy, right? They're not necessarily just fun all the time. And it's not like most sports where you get to play multiple games a week. They have to do it just one time a week, And so it's a grind to get to that point, but we put a lot on their plate as far as just being able to learn the offense or defense as far as that goes, playbook-wise, and then taking care of their bodies, not just the sport, but we discipline them as how they eat throughout the week, and obviously the weight room and all those things. And so it's a tall task that not everybody's really built for, but our guys, man, they really bought into what we preached to them, and they did a great job, and I think it showed with the way the season went.
It definitely did.
Yeah.
So, and you are over defense?
Yes, ma'am.
What's something about your program that has made a difference in the last few years to get y'all to where you are now?
Well, I think the ultimate thing to say about it is the standard is the standard. So when we're going in and we want to build a championship caliber defense, and with the ultimate prize of holding the gold ball in December, which we were just able to do. All right, but it doesn't just start in August; it starts in January. All right, and it starts with not only just the installation of your scheme, but also along with the weight program that we do. All right, and then the nutrition. Everything is operated at a championship level. Okay, and going from January all the way through spring ball and summer training, like I said, the standard is the standard. There's nothing that's going to go below that line, okay? And we just kept pushing those guys to where they even exceeded our expectations during the run. And there was a time in the first round of the playoffs where we made a big stop there in the second quarter, and I was like, oh, wow, like we got something right here. And then we just got hot, and we had the opportunity to play in Starkville, Mississippi last week, and I know it ended crazily.
It was amazing.
But,
yeah.
We held the gold ball, and it still hasn't settled in for me. I still have to pause and tell myself, like, hey, man, we just won this whole thing. But, going back to your question, there is a standard of play, and then you just keep pressing that.
Right. And I will say I saw a lot of things afterwards about the sportsmanship. That is another thing that I know that we've had a mutual opponent that I will say has not had the best sportsmanship, and that is not y'all. Your players consistently show that they're good people.
Yeah, I certainly would like to. I'd like to think that. I think our guys are, they understand how to win, how to lose, and all that. I think we need to tell some people at the MHSAA that so they can understand it. But I was proud of the way our guys handled everything. Obviously an emotional moment for 15, 16, 17-year-olds. And I thought they did a tremendous job being able to represent the Gulfport the way that we want them to.
They did, definitely. I know that there was a picture showing them going up to some players after the game, after they won. And that just shows kind of what y'all are doing with your program. It's not just about playing and winning.
I think so.
It's about molding these kids into, future members of society.
I think we can credit our staff for that, for something like that. Each of our coaches we treat as the head coach of their position, and they do a tremendous job investing in our players and investing in the culture and what we're trying to feed into these guys. I mean, a lot of these guys come from a ton of different backgrounds and situations, at home, and so, a lot of times our guys our coaches are the first stop, right, on some things, and so I think that what is coming on through us is being portrayed out there with that, and then these guys are doing a great job of buying into what it is we're selling, and understanding their own potential in themselves and keeps feeding into it.
So if somebody wanted to support the winning team, they could do that through the booster, correct?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, no, we have a Big Blue Booster Club. It's kind of a one booster club, but you can always, anytime we want to donate or anything, contact our athletic director, Matt Walters, at the high school, and you can earmark anything you want for football and that kind of deal. So, the big thing for us is we want to be one Gulfport. Obviously, this is a massive city, and it's so many factions, but the way that the city has come together for us, and so many people have donated things from our standpoint, that it's been really humbling from our perspective.
I know that y'all are making the winner's circuit right now.
Yeah.
You've been very busy, so tying you down for this has been hard, but I think that the community is showing you how much they appreciate the hard work that y'all are putting in.
Yeah, I'll let them speak on this too, but it's come into a humbling deal for us to see all the people that have come out and love everything. But I mean, what's y'all's perspective on this?
Yeah, I mean, you think of Gulfport, you think of it a city, right? You think kind of a bigger area and whatnot, maybe not so close knit, but then after this all happened, you really do feel the community sense of it, and everybody coming around. And I mean, you can't go anywhere without somebody stopping you, people you don't know, but they see Gulfport on your shirt and they want to congratulate you and things like that. And so it's been awesome. And then just the amount of people that have reached out to want to do something for it, to help us celebrate these guys and what they did. And so it's been really cool.
Well, I appreciate y'all taking time out to come and talk a little bit more about what y'all did. And again, congratulations. I know that our game was not the best one with y'all, but I am very happy that y'all won, because at least we have a state championship on the coast.
On the coast.
So,
That's right, on
and
the
that's
coast.
what matters.
It can be done.
Right? Well, thank you for tuning in. And again, we'd like to thank our sponsors for allowing us to show you a little bit more about the community. We hope that you have a good day.